So let's take every single build, primary and secondary, and put it in one video. I covered a tier list yesterday, so make sure you check out that video as well if you're wondering where I rank these weapons. Today I'm just covering the builds. So when you go to details on guns, you go to stability, current recoil reduction when holding breath. Reduce your recoil by 53%, even after you've already improved the actual pattern. So when you're sprinting around and you're holding shift already, you don't have to let go. And as you can hear, he's holding the breath. So 0.47 out of 1.0, meaning that's how much is left. We've removed 53% to be exact. That's usually the cap for most weapons. Snipers go down to 0.4. That's not the only reason why I'm such a fiend when it comes to this stat. I also like the movement stability because when you're actually strafing and stuff like that, this is what matters. But what's funny is, in control, firing stability is here. So when you see in the effects, firing stability increase, this is what they mean. It's pretty confusing, to be honest. I'll show you the best example of needing firing stability in the control tab. As we can see here, as soon as you put on any sort of extended mag on the AK, we'll go down here, it's above the 1.0, which 1.0 is already poo. So what I did with my AK builds, we'll get into that later, I reduced it. And this is with a drum mag. This is on my main build, 0.75. When it comes to control, I mainly focus on the horizontal recoil, because if you turn it more into a straight line, then you can just hold your breath and make it less than half of this. So it's very, very easy to use. But every gun is different, and we have to balance things. And I want to show you guys quickly what's going to be on pretty much every single build. Unless I say so in that specific build, I will let you know. You always put one of these on for a free handling boost. This is my personal preference when it comes to sights, but this is definitely up to you. This reduces a lot of visual recoil, so it actually makes it easier, with the cost of not being able to see your far targets as much. And then on the right rail, we put a laser, any color that you want, but I think red's the easiest to see on most maps. When you put this on and you keep the laser on, you get a huge boost of hipfire accuracy and handling in general. Laser guide in the description if you want to know more about the details. When I use this AK heavy tower grip, which is almost for every build, it's pretty much always set to the right, and we always use a stable grip base. This balanced grip base is good too, we do rarely use it. I'll have chapters as well, so you can find exactly which build you want at a later date, find whatever you need. So basically, with this stock that you get with the M4, the M16A4 stable stock, it's incredibly broken when you crank these both to the right. And for this, I left it in the middle because the ADS would be too slow. All Python handguards, and then this keeps the ADS speed good. This is pretty much the G3 of the assault class. Not really much to say here, just focusing on stability as usual. We actually changed it up and used this sight to raise it above the iron sight. I feel like this gun's really easy to build with a 30 round mag. I'm sure you guys know how to do that, so I made a 45 round, and I feel like that gives it more benefit because this gun's kind of weak, just super accurate. Like I said in the intro, this gun is unique. I'd actually focus on firing stability, I feel like, for this weapon. It just makes it feel so much better. It's also nice having a little extra accuracy than usual. I feel like this is one of the most forgiving guns when it comes to builds, because the ADS speed is almost always amazing. Finally, some different panels. These are all the Ranger handguard panel. This gotta be in the top 3, top 2 most accurate assault rifles for sure. These are all pythons. I went with the titanium over the compensators for this because the firing stability helps a lot. Now this is actually a forgiving build, and I think it deserves to be because it's a burst weapon. Kinda has a disadvantage in this game in my opinion, unless you're an absolute laser beam. It has one of the fastest time to kills in the game, because one burst to the head up close will kill. This is what I mean, like you can do stuff like this and it's still incredibly accurate. Make sure you switch it to burst. If you could add muzzle velocity to this gun, I would actually like it, but the way it is, I still dislike it. This gun hits like an absolute truck, and I think if you stick to a 30 round mag, it's very beneficial, because the low fire rate, it's not low, but it's lower than usual, like an M4A1's much faster. Feels much faster at least. I think it's very maintainable, it definitely works for me. This gotta be one of my favorite pieces in the whole game right here. It's what we're looking for. Definitely an underrated gun. This thing still absolutely rips, even after that nerf. You could also go no gas block at all, also pretty good. The only unique medic assault rifle, this thing used to be insane back in the very first beta, back in October. We only got one of these, and we got Rangers. We got the AUG assault rifle. The auto shotty, absolute monster. Scary weapon to come across. I focused on accuracy, and make sure you switch your shotguns to laser mode. It's faster to ADS and faster to close the reticle. It's also pretty comfortable to use up close. It's not always ideal to ADS, I usually just hip fire most of the time. So we got the Hornet handguard panels instead. I think this is the best shotgun in the game. Just one pumps so far. It's actually scary. With this build, honestly, now that I think about it, I would actually... It's kind of embarrassing I'm doing this mid-video. Like I said, you don't really need the boost, the handling boost from these or anything. Just give you guys a quick example just in case you fast forwarded here. That's what I do with all of them. It's a fun shotgun, but definitely the weakest one. Now we got the SKS. This thing wobbles like no tomorrow. This definitely helps though. The silent suppressor helps where you need it in the single fire recoil department. Really like this sight. Now we got the M14. I got a little crazy here. I put the modulars on, and this basically drops your handling. But I feel like with the Marksman Rifle, you can definitely sacrifice a little bit of handling. So we got 3 of those. I put the Whisper suppressor on this because the muzzle velocity is the exact same as an AR 689. When you put this on, it goes to 743. I feel like it feels much better. So fun fact about this gun, it can go into fully automatic. And I still don't play super up close, but it's much more fun to use. So we got the SR9. Here's the SVD. Mini 14 is insane because you can absolutely spam this, so that's why I built it around it. The SR-25, to combat the horizontal recoil, we don't really have much choices here. We use the combat grip because we don't have the horizontal compensation. And that's why we use this on everything semi-automatic. All the same. Last but not least, for Marksman Rifles, drops bodies. Two of those. This thing makes any gun look badass. Next we got the MP5, which is a good gun, but what makes it decent in my opinion is the actual build potential. You're held back by the limited pieces. I do, however, feel like I could consider this good instead of decent. This is my only partial regret in my tier list. Everything else I feel like I got pretty good, so sorry MP5 fans. I'll be doing a lot of that still. Yeah, most of them. Like I said, this is all preference. Then we got 2 stability patches. Next we got the Uzi. This thing's pretty weak, I'm not gonna lie. I miss the Call of Duty 4 P90 from 2007. Holy moly. This one's fun though. Bizon just goes stupid. MP7 time. Now we got the Vityaz Queen. We got control panels. It's like one of my only builds with a Hydrorizer currently. That's due to the fact that this SMG just has terrible handling. So we have that, and then we have the one-to-one sight as usual. So for the SMG-45, I have 2 builds because when it comes to laser, you just slap all the best pieces on right here. And for even more stability, which gets us to the cap, it gives us an effect on top of it too. Or if you actually want to use the one-time sight still, you put it on top here. And if you use your sight switching, you can make it pretty quick still. And that's how you make a maximum laser build. You can literally hit people up to like 150, some ridiculous number with the stance. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of using it. It's definitely awkward at first. It takes some getting used to. So for the overall build, here's what I got. It's pretty much all the same things. I put this one instead. Less vertical recoil. I actually set this to the left, but if you look at the stats, the movement stability is still pretty insane, so we're good. But you should still use the laser on this too up close. Now we got the 70 bullets of pain. These are all the handling handguard, except for this one. I put this on to maximize this, as usual. Shiny. Hell yeah. Big balls. This thing's just stupid busted. I mean, every SMG is almost. This thing helps. Let's get into the LMGs now. This thing is absolutely terrifying. As soon as I hear this thing being shot, I run away. I like the fire rate of this weapon, but definitely overshadowed by the other LMGs in my opinion. All the same. Definitely another crazy LMG. Got this, so... I really like that you can turn this into an assault rifle, basically. It's a great example of why you have to pay attention to the effects. Holy shit. Now we got the battle rifles. This specifically is one of my favorite guns in the whole game. I wish I could use it on D-Wolf, or anybody but Engineer, to be honest. Bunch of snakes. Bunch of snakes, dude. Big surprise, it's not the 30 round mag. So I'll definitely do a G3 video in the future. So many ways you can build it, and this is why builds are some of the funnest parts of the game. But for this one specifically, we're going for insane accuracy, and also the most insane range for battle rifles. Double stability. The Ash 12 is a battle rifle, but it feels more like a shotgun. It's blue. If there's any OGs in the chat, let me know how you feel about the M7 now compared to in the previous betas. I feel it used to be way better. Some guns got some pretty obvious changes. This one, however, I'm not sure if it did or not. I just don't really like it as much as I used to. Last and least, we have snipers. There's not really much you can do with this weapon. Your best bet is to maximize the range. I want to do some close range builds on this gun in the future because there's a lot you can do with it, but for now, we'll just go with the generic sniper build. Flinch stability is really cool. Don't really have much choices here. I think it's beneficial to go for fire rate, because with this weapon, you're not going to get those one-shots to the body very far at all, or at all, so might as well increase the fire rate. Jump into these secondaries, shall we? Focused on the up close here. I don't want to add the barrel because it's going to decrease the handling by a lot. If you're going to use the QSZ, I think it's best off just spamming it at hipfire as soon as you swap up close. But other than that, this is probably the weakest secondary. G17 is probably the best semi-auto pistol. Has an incredible magazine, 25 rounds. Even with the heavy tactical barrel, we still have a fast ADS. Another S tier choice for sure. If you want a pocket sniper, this is your gun right here. The range is absolutely ridiculous. All snakes. This would be one of the best choices if it wasn't limited to 11 rounds. So for this build, you gotta make sure you only use it in laser. You gotta remember to actually switch it at the beginning of the match. But with this, you can basically spam it because you don't have to deal with the giant animation in your face. So there's every single build in Delta Force. We did it. Holy. Be sure to join the Discord. I'll be dropping new and updated builds when the new season comes out and stuff like that. Let's say they buff a certain gun. We'll be sure to change stuff up. So that's all. Hope to see you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.